Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Simone and today I am finally making a full crochet tutorial for the biggest fan crochet bucket hat from Yarnspiration.com. It is a free pattern. This video is not sponsored. I promised over social media that I got 20 likes, then I would make a tutorial. And here we are. Thank you so much for the support. This is a beginner-friendly project, work mostly in half double crochets. So if you're comfortable with basic stitches, you'll be able to follow along. If you enjoy crochet tutorials, please like, subscribe, and let's get started. Here's what you'll need for this project. You're going to need a light blue red heart yarn, and you're going to also need a dark blue. It's worsted weight, but you can use whatever yarn you would like to try with. We're also going to use a 5mm hook. There we have it. We are going to use a scissors. If you're new, this is important. This is what we call a stitch marker and a needle to sew your ends in. A stitch marker, optional but helpful. This tutorial is for an adult size bucket hat, and I'll share along the way what you need to adjust for the fit. And I'll link the original Yarnspiration pattern in the description box below. One thing to note before we get started, this hat is worked in rounds from top down. The entire hat is made using half double crochets with increases to shape the crown and the brim. The gauge is not super critical for this project, but if your stitches are tight, consider sizing up your hook. Honestly, I've tried this pattern several times, different ways. I've actually made this pattern used this pattern to base my patterns off, and I don't mess with the hook size, whether it's tension or so. I recommend just knocking off around if you're going to adjust. That's just how I look at it. We're going to get started in a minute. So give me one moment and we'll be back. We're starting with the crown of the hat, and we're going to work round one, work the stitches exactly as it's written in the pattern, all double crochets. You want to make sure that you count your stitch at the end of each row. It is important so that the hat lays flat. I'm going to try to get our camera in so we can get started. Bear with me. To follow the pattern, this pattern says to start with A. So A is the light, I'm using A as the light blue, and I'm going to use B as my dark blue. So first thing I'm going to, it asks, it says with A, chain 4. So we're going to chain 4. So you're just going to wrap around and draw up a loop. Next, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, going off camera, I'm getting used to this. So we have 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the chain. So what this looks like is you're just going to go like this. Make sure your chain isn't crooked. So I turn mine around. There we go. Jesus, I know how to slip stitch, I promise you guys. All right, we're going to slip stitch. So let me show that again. You're going to take this and you're just going to go into that first stitch. So from here into the first stitch like this, sorry. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. So now we're going to chain 10 we're going to do 10 double crochet into this circle, this that you just made. So we're going to wrap this around. We're going to go into the circle and pull to all 3. So let me do that again. Wrap around, right? Wrap around, go in the hole, grab this yarn, go like this, and then pull to all 3. So wrap around, go in the hole, pull up, go through all 3. One more time. Wrap around, go in, pull up, pull to all 3. Wrap around, go in, pull up, wrap around. And we're going to do this 10 times because we need 10 half double crochets in here. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 5 more on camera. Wrap so you can see and get used to it. All right. Should feed some yarn. 3, 4, 5. Now, how you count? You count just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is your last loop. This is where a stitch marker is helpful. I'm just advanced, so I don't always use stitch marker, but for you guys, it is so helpful. What you should have done is put your stitch in marker in the very first stitch that you did. All right. So now that we have 10 of these, we're going to take our little tail that's back here. And we're just going to give it a little tug. We're going to give it a little tug as tight as possible. And now you'll see that it closed up the hole that was at the top. All right. So guess what? We did the first round. Woohoo! We're gonna finish our round. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna slip stitch into here, into the very first where you just took your marker out. You're gonna slip stitch. All right, slip stitch by sliding the hook in, pulling this straight through. Let me show that again. You push it in and pull it up, slide it through. That's it. Now you have your first. Now what we're going to do, we're going to chain one again. Just one time. You're just going to wrap it around and pull it through the loop. Chain one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap around. We're going to make a half double crochet in that same space that we just slip stitch into. So we're going to go into this hole. So wrap around, go in. Now we're putting 2 in each of these stitches as we go around. And what you would do is you finish your first stitch, you're going to go in, you're going to put the stitch marker in your first stitch so you know where to end and where to slip stitch at when you come back around. So, all right. I'm sorry if everything is not on camera. I'm trying to get used to this and bear with me as I figure it out. All right. Thank you. 1. We're just going to do a couple more rounds on camera so you get the idea of what you will do. And if you need to slow it down, ask me. You can ask questions in a comment and we can go from there. I'm trying not to go fast. We'll say that this is for, I give credit to everyone that makes tutorial. This is not as easy as it seems. Just trying to remember where your hand is in the camera. All right, so remember, we're just repeating the same thing around. We're doing 2 stitches in each, 2 half double crochet in each stitch. What we're going to do, we're going to count to make sure that we should have 20 now. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Proof. We have the right amount. So the next round calls for 2 half double crochets and then 1 double crochet. So I'll show you how that works. So what you're doing, basically, we're continuing to increase work. We'll increase around to create a flat circle for the hat. Just continue following the pattern like I'm doing until we get to the right recommendation. I'll get you there. So here we go. Again, we're ending the row. You always end your row by slip stitching into the first stitch, which is where your stitch marker was. You're going to pull through. You're going to chain one again, and we're going to half double crochet in the same space we just slip stitch in. Here we go. And we're going to put our stitch marker in. Force a habit. It's not force a habit for me because I don't use it anymore. We actually need to put 2 half double crochet in that first stitch that you slip stitch into. Then we're going to do 1 in the next stitch. You're going to repeat the same pattern around. 1, 2 in the next, in the next. So here we go. 2 half double crochets, 1 in the next. And you're just going to repeat that around. So let me do a couple more with you and then we'll meet back around. So we have 1, 2, then we do 1 in the next. And you just do that all the way around until we get to the very end, and I'll show you at the very end. So I'll be back. I came back on screen and to meet you at the very last stitch because of what you should, this is also a checkpoint for you. If you get to the last stitch and you're having to put 2 in here, you know that you've missed or something is wrong. You should end with 1 stitch in that last one. So as the pattern would follow, 2, 1, 2, 1. So now we're at the very end. And what we're going to do again, like we've done before, we're going to slip stitch into that, and then we're going to chain one, and then we're going to put 2 half double crochets. I got to get some slack on my yarn. Sorry. 2 half double crochets into that same pattern, same stitch. Then you're going to put your stitch marker. And now we are on round 3. So round 3, we're still starting with the 2 in here. What we're going to do this time is 2 and then 1. So 2 and 1, the first 1 stitch in the next 2 stitch. So 1 each a half double crochet in each of the next 2 half double crochet. So now we're going to follow the pattern. I'm going to give you the 1, 2, and then we're going to go 1 in each of the next 2 stitch again. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then around. All right, I'll save the last stitch. I'll meet you back at the last stitch. Back on screen in the last 2 stitches. And correction, this is actually round 4 and how you count backwards. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you know what row you're on. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do the last 2 half double crochets in these stitches together. And then we're going to end together by slip stitching. And you can see just pushing it into the loop like that. Chain 1. All right. Now we are moving up to round 5. We're just going to keep increasing. So we chained 1 and we're going to put, as we always do, we start with 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. Don't forget your stitch marker. It's important, especially if you're a beginner. You'll forget where you start and all right. Next up, as you can see, the pattern is like you start with your count, then you have your first increase, which is 2, then your next increase is 1, and next increase is 2, and now we're on 3. So what we're going to do is 2 and 1, and then 3 in each of the next half double crochet. So 1, I'm just going to do this. Let's get us started on this round. 2, 3, and then 2 in the next. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. And I'll meet you back around on the last 3. Here we go. All right, so we're coming back around to the last 3 stitch. 1, 2, 3. I just did the double right here in round 5. So I always forget to get more slack from my yarn. Here we go. So double crochet, 1, 2, 3. So there we have it, and we're going to slip stitch as we always do at the end into the first stitch, chain 1, and place 2 into the same stitch we just crocheted. Sorry, didn't realize I was just off camera there, and I apologize. Well, I hope by now you can have the pattern. So we are on round 6, and for round 6 we're gonna do half double in the first stitch, and then 4, and then double. So I did 2, this is 2, 3, 4, and then we need to do a double. 1, 2. Double mean 2 in the same space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're doing 4 and then a double. One small tip that you can notice, you'll know that you're coming up on your increase if you're paying attention, because it'll fall into, you see how you have 2 here? Oh, sorry. See how we have the double right here? And we actually went into that one right before it. So I'll show you again. So 1, look right, 2, 3, 4. And I know that I was, because here's the next increase that I did from the previous round. So sometimes that's helpful to just keep in mind, oh, I'm about to, where did I left off at? Anyway, I'll meet you back. I'm going to crochet this around, and we will meet you back at the last 4 stitch. We'll do it together on screen. Bear with me. All right, we're back on the last 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're about to finish up round and go into round 7. This is where it gets, the increase is different. We're going to slip stitch and let's finish out the round and chain one. This time what we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch as per usual, but instead of doing 5 increases, which would make sense, we're because we've been increasing this whole time. What we're actually going to do is increase every 11 stitch, and that's to give the hat a shape. So it gives it like that bucket hat shape and allow you to, but this is the last round in increasing the pattern. And then we're actually also going to get into color change, because we will, after this round, we're going to go ahead and change color. So we have 2, and then we're going to do 1, 2, and this is round 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to do 2 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry if I was off screen. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then let's double. And let's finish this. I'll come back on screen, finish this around, and then I'll come back on screen on the last stitch so I can show you how to do the color change. So here we are. We are on stitch 10, and we're about to go to stitch 11, and I'm going to show you how we change colors. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap it around just like you would be finishing your stitch. You're going to go up. Now you have these 3 loops. Just take your finger, take your finger and just hold that, that's back here. Just hold it like that. You can, I've comfortably, I try not to bring it to the front, but I've brought it to the front before and used my thumb sometimes. It's just a matter of, you want to give it some tension, but not too much. This is what it looks like behind. You're just holding it with your finger, and this is the front. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your hoop like this, and you're just going to pull it through like so. And then the one that's behind, you're just going to give it a little tug, not too much. And now use your hand to hold both. Now you're going to use this new color to slip stitch into the first stitch. You're going to go ahead and take this stitch marker out. You're going to go ahead and chain 1. So if you notice what I do, the reason why I keep this, let me just go back a little bit before I chain 1. These stitches, I keep it behind like this. I keep them up here. So when I go to, this is slip stitch, but when I chain 1, so when I go to, so let me do that again. So when I go to chain 1, it's kind of like holding them, the stitch in between. So now I have it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and snip off my light blue. And now I'm going to continue on. Let's continue on. So now with this new color, we're no longer doing any increase. The crown is complete. The curve of the hat should be going downwards. So like this. And from here on, we're just going to continue to work a half double crochet, but no increases. We're going to continue working these rounds until the hat reaches the depth, that fits your head comfortably. So we're going to do 3 rounds in this blue. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the first round, just 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So let's do it 1 round together. Right. It's just like the other rounds. All right. So we're going to finish this. So wrap over, and you want to keep your yarn behind like this so that as you go into the stitch, you're securing it down, and it helps to not have to sew so much. You're doing it. So you're just going to go around 3 more times like we talked about. We're going to do 3 rows, just 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and I'll meet you back at round 10. One thing, I weave my ends in as much as possible. Something to note, once you feel like it's secure, just give it a little snip. You just want to give it a little snip so that way it's not scraggly or showing in your hat. So I'm just gonna go ahead, take my scissors, and the reason why I love these scissors because they allow you to get a little precise. So I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna clip as close as possible. Make sure you don't cut your irregular yarn. All right, I'll meet you back round. So 3 rounds of just one in each. Meet you back at round 10 and we'll switch colors then and we'll do another color change. I decided to come on screen and just show you what I meant. Just see, just one in each. Let's finish that round. And 1, 2, and we're in the 3rd round of blue, and I'll meet you back. All right. So we're coming up on the end of last of round 10, our 3rd row of dark blue, and we're gonna do a color change again. And so this is still the body of the hat. And so let me show you how we color change. Just fold it over and it's okay. Sorry, I had to get back on camera. It's just a little fold, all right? And then, so we're gonna wrap around, act like we're doing our half double crochet. So we have the 3 on the hook. We're just gonna leave that behind. We're gonna grab this, pull it through, loop the loop, give it a little tug back there. And then what we're gonna do is fold both back there. There's different ways. You could tie it, you could loop. There's different ways. We can talk about that more if you have more questions about that. I'm happy to walk you through and talk about that more. So we're going to slip stitch and draw 1. And like I said, make sure this is behind. See how I have it sandwiched between so that when I chain 1, it's giving it a little additional security. And then I just pull and then I'm going to cut off blue, my dark blue rather, because we're using light blue. And what we're actually going to do, we're going to do 2 more rounds of no increases, just 1 in each. So we're going to do 1 in each, and we're going to repeat this for 2 rounds. Add your stitch marker in, all right? And we're just going to go around. Make sure you keep your behind so that way you can actually secure it as you're going along. And the first couple of stitches, I tried to make sure they're like I'm giving it a little tug just to give it a little security. All right, so 1 in each stitch, and we're going to do 2 rounds of light blue, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 12, and we'll do another color change, and then we'll get to the brim. All right, see you back. So we've made it back around or 2. We're gonna do another color change. That's why I came back on screen so I can do the color change with you, because I know as a beginner that was one of those things that was just a pain. So like I said, I'm hoping you can see my hand. I'm really trying to be on screen. That's just so hard. There we go. All right, let's wrap, go in, draw up, hold it back, gonna hook it in and through here. All right, let's take our stitch marker out, slip stitch, and we are still continuing on the body of the hat. And what we're going to do is 3 more rounds of blue. And so with no increase, just 1 in each. And we will, don't forget to snip your ends as you go. You don't want to do that at the end. That's why I keep my scissors handy, because my hand are dandy. Let's keep going, all right? So we're going to go around 1 in each, and we're going to do 3 more rounds of dark blue. And I will meet you back at the end of those 3 rows. And I'm just going to finish this to show you. All right, so honestly, I should have cut that before that left. See how it's nice and secure? I'm going to trim it right there. There we go. All right. Meet you back. All right. So I'm coming back on camera. Just finished. We just finished, sorry, round 15. So we did 3 more rounds of blue. This is what your hat should be looking like. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust the camera. But it should be looking like a little bucket right here. You see? See? Coming along. All right. Now we are going to actually do 1 more color change because we're going to begin with the brim. and we're going to do 2 rows with light blue for the brim. So as per usual, wait for the camera to look. We're going to do our color change on camera. So let me undo this one. So we're going to wrap around, insert, keep this back. Here we go. And give it a little tug. And like I said, make sure you keep it back there. All right, we're going to slip stitch. And I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do this round. Let me just snip off just out of habit, I like to get it done. So we're going to half double crochet 2. This is actually, the brim is, we're going to do some increases in the brim now. Of course, it's all double crochet, half double crochet. This just gives the hat classic bucket shape, so that at this point, I recommend trying on the hat and go check the width of the brim once we're done your brim, or you can make adjustments. So, I mean, before I finish the brim, let me just say one thing. If you wanted this part shorter, if you tried it on your head and you're like, oh my God, this is too short, I want this longer, you just keep going around in just the same one space until you're ready to add your brim. If you want to shorten it, you just lessen the amount of rows, single rows that you've done, and go, and so on. So to increase, to make it longer, your bucket longer, keep doing 1 row, 1 in each row. To decrease, if you don't want this to be as long, just take out some rows. That's all. Anyway, back on the brim. So remember, one of our last increase that we did, increase row that we did back then, we increased 11. So we're actually going to do 12 half double crochet. Forgive me, I gotta take this back out. And I'm showing you our crochet wool. Sometimes this happens. You don't have that back. Keep this back here behind so we can weave as we go. All right, so we're gonna do, there we go. 2 in the first one and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to put 2. You're going to continue that pattern. So 2, 12, 2, all the way around. And then we're going to come back. I'll meet you at the end of this row, and I'll tell you what row 17 will include. All right, don't forget to put your stitch marker in, especially if you are a newbie. I'll meet you back. We are back. We just finished round 16. We're on the brim. We're gonna slip stitch into our first stitch, half double crochet. We're gonna go and we're gonna chain 1, and we're gonna put 2 in the same space, and then we're gonna do 1 in every 6. So 1 in the next 6 stitches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a double. All right, and I finished this same pattern. So 6, and we will come back, meet you back around to the last one, where we will change color one more time. And when we change color, we're just gonna do 1 row of that. So I'll meet you back. All right, we're coming back on camera, and this is what your hat is looking like. Let me give you a view, or try to. It should be looking like this. Cute little stand up. All right, I'm gonna go back in. So we just finished row 17, and we did 6, and then we're gonna go to row 18. We're gonna do 1 more color change. We're gonna switch over to the dark blue. Let's do our color change together. You'll be an expert by the end of this, right? All right, color change. Hold it behind. Oh, we're going to slip stitch into the first one. Chain 1. Give it a little tug. Snip off. And then we're going to go, we're going to put 2 into the first one. And we're going to 7 double crochet into, we're going to do 1 in the next 7 half double crochet. So that's the pattern. 2, and then 1 through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we do a double, right? And you're gonna do that and go around, and then we'll go around, and then I will meet you back. All right, see you soon. All right, my camera. So I'm not going to do this on camera, but I'm going to tell you that the next round is round 19. And what you're going to do 2 in the same space and 1 in the next 8 double crochet. And you're just going to repeat that. So we're going to do one more increase row after this row 18, where we're doing 7 and 2. Then the next row, 19, in the same color, dark blue. So we're doing 2 increase rows. I'll check back in with you and do it in case you get confused. So this is what I meant. Oh, sorry. All right. Just had to find out. So this is what I meant. We did 2 rows. So row 18, we did 7. We did 2 increase in the first one, 7, and then double. So row 19th, what we did was 2 and 8 and double. So 2 and 1 H in the first half double crochet, 1 in each of the next 8 double crochet, half double crochet. I'm just used to saying double crochet, y'all. I'm sorry. And so on. So now we're on at the end of round 19. If you were to count, you would have 100 stitches right here. And 100, you should end with 100 half double crochet. All right, so we're actually going to switch to the light blue, one more color change. But guess what? We're almost done. We only have 2 more rows. So we are doing on row 20. And this one is a little bit different. We're actually going to do what is called, we're going to do another round of half double crochet, but just 1 in each stitch. Oh, let me change my color. Where are we? Am I there? All right. I think I moved my camera back a little bit too far, so give me a second. I'm gonna adjust. There we go. All right, so we know, wrap around. So, for those who don't know, I've said this before, I have what's called karaoke brain, which means that everything turns into a song for me. I don't mean to do it, I just can't help it. All right, so we're going to chain 1, and this is here we go. All right, we're gonna do 1 half double crochet all the way around, and then I will meet you at the end where we are gonna do our final row 21, and then I'll show you how to fasten all weave our ends in and all that good stuff. So give me one more second and we'll go from there. Meet you back at the end and I'll show you how we finish up the last row. And we won't have to do any more color changes. And if you've mastered the color changes, I'm proud of you. Pat yourself on the back. And if you need more details on how to do the color changes, I can do a separate video specifically on just how to do a color change, and we can go from there. But just continue around, and you should have, like I said, 100 half double crochets, and I will see you after you spend some time doing that. Guys, do not forget to snip as you go. It depends if you're an assembly line person. Sometimes I like to do all my clipping at the very end. And that way it keeps me honest because I'm doing one final check of all of my snippings. But snip. Right, meet you back. All right, let's move our little fuzzies out the way. And we are back. We just finished round 20 with just or single 1 half double crochets in each half double crochet stitch. Now we're at the last row. We're going to slip stitch as we've been doing into the first one. We're going to chain 1. And actually, we're not going to chain 1 because what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch all the way around. So I lost my stitch marker. Hopefully you still have your stitch marker. Like I said, you can use anything to be a stitch marker. So this is what I'm going to do because I'm not going to go find a stitch marker right this second. I'm going to put this into here. So I know this little red, whenever I see this red, I'll know that I'm approaching. So you slip stitch into the first one and you're literally going to just continue that around. You're going to go in, pull up, go through the loop. Go in, pull up, and you're just going to continue to slip stitch like this around the whole hat in each stitch. And then when you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch and chain one. I'll meet you back. Just keep doing this. Go in, pull the in, pull out, pull the in. I am back on camera to do this with you. So we are, as you see, my little stitch marker stayed. So I'm just going to slip stitch into the last one. This is the last stitch. And now where I had that, my stitch marker, which was our first stitch, slip stitch from the previous round, from when we start the round, we're going to slip into it. It could be a little tight, and we're going to slip stitch. Then we're going to do one more. We're going to act like we're chaining one. So we're going to chain, and then we're going to snip off. You want to leave a nice tail because we're going to sew this in. And you pull this through, give it a healthy tug, and then we're going to sew this in. Threading my little needle. Oh, how good. All right, so let's go here. So we're just going to go underneath of that first loop, pull it in like this. Then we're going to go under here. You see this other one? I like to go in the back loop of this one. This creates more of a seamless finish. It's good. All right, and then go back the opposite way because I like to knot it up. So this is how you knot it, just to make sure. You go back in one more this way. All right. A little sewing if you don't know how to sew. It's not that much. You don't even have to sew. You honestly, you could have just tied it twice and then cut as close as possible and it would still. So you don't have to know how to sew the crochet. And you don't have to know how to crochet to sew. All right. We're just going to sew a little bit. And I'm just showing you because this is one of the things where whenever I'm watching Zero, I always wish that someone would show me in the beginning. How are they doing it? They just tell me to sew it. Uh-oh, it's getting back there. They tell me to sew it, but they don't show me how. Hope you can see it on camera. Forgive me if you can't. I'm going to end this now somewhere. And what I'm going to do is end it by just going up under into a little spot in up top. And then I'm just going to snip it off. Right? Oh, this is what I was saying about. So I'm going to do all my little snip at one time. So I'm just going to pull it a little, snip it. Be careful not to catch your loop. I just want to snip it a little bit. And this one in the middle, I'm actually going to show you the middle. I'm actually going to sew this piece in just a little, just to give it some added security. It's nice that I like knowing that my pieces is not going to come apart from washing and tearing, and I actually am going to knot it. So how I knot it is going backwards, bringing it up here, and then what I'm going to do is just go back in to that same loop. I would have left it longer before. So 1 second. My tail is short. That's why it's important to do a decent length tail, unless you're weaving it all the way in, which I usually do. I just forgot about it this time. All right, so one knot, because this is short, so I have to thread this again. I wanna see, another song is about to come up on me. So here we go. Just go back in. I could totally do a better job with this knot if had I left my tail longer. And my goal is just to hide it inside around here and here. Pull it through. Got it. Snip it off carefully. Take it out. All right. In a second, I'm gonna. All right. Let's get back to business. Coming back on screen. Let me just get my camera together. There we go. All right. So let's switch hats so like I said, one thing to know as I'm finishing off the final round, you can lightly steam your hat or block the brim if you want it to have more of a structure look. It's optional, or you can just have your hat ready to go. Let's go ahead and do the final reveal. of what our hat looks like. Look how nice this hat is. Shout out to the designer. And you guys, this is like, oh, it ate, like the kids say. So that's it. This is your biggest fan crochet bucket hat. It's finished. It's done. And if this tutorial helped you, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Thank you again for helping me to hit my goal. Please continue to watch, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. I really hope that you enjoyed this, but check it out. We just figured out Blue's Clues. I am so in love, right? It's amazing.